All right, and we're live. Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
Always feels a bit awkward. I don't know where it is.
Yeah, the beginning and the ending. Always
Yeah,
like you don't-
and it's like you have to click the button twice, and I'm always like, oh, I've done it, and then I've not done it.
yeah.
It's the live show for Ruin, if anyone just stumbled here for some reason. But I think only Hannah's here for now, so she knows what's up. But yeah, we're discussing Ruin, which is book 3 in the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne.
Can you imagine that we have read over 2,000 pages of the Vanished Lands? I mean, I'm just saying.
I kind of can. This was a journey and a half. I was like, okay. And the rough is even thicker, so I'm like starting it. I'm gonna give myself a week of a break, and then I'm gonna start it.
Is it? I thought Ruin was the biggest one.
I think it is.
I think it has like 50 pages less than Ruin.
I know.
That's amazing news. I thought it was bigger. Oh, that's brilliant.
No, this one is the biggest, I feel.
Oh,
So you did it.
thank you, God. I would have forgotten John Gwynne for making rough shorter. But yeah. Okay, should we say what we thought? Don't know. Who wants to start?
Shall I start
crying.
because I'm only 20% in?
Yeah, go ahead then.
So I'm really loving it now. I gave Valor 5 stars. So, the fact that I gave Malice 3 stars was definitely me. It wasn't the book. But yeah, I'm really loving it so far. For me personally, I dislike that the chapters in this one are longer than in Valor. But that's just personal because I feel like if it's more shorter chapters, I read it more quickly, which is honestly not really the case, but I guess it just feels that way. But yeah, so far I'm really liking it, and I love that we get to see so more of the mythology and everything is starting to kind of fall into place now, at least more and more.
Fair enough.
What about you, Kira?
This has been like my favorite book of the series so far.
I think, yeah.
Because like the other two, I was just like, oh, we're like still like leading up to something. But I feel like here, like we're actually starting to get like really into everything. Like we're not just kind of like gracing the surface, And I feel like there's like been like a lot of character development in this. So this was just, yeah.
Yeah. So what did you give it?
Huh?
What did you give it?
This was a 5-star for me. Like I gave the other like ones I think like 4.5 stars, but like this one I felt like really like landed. So
yeah, I feel the same. Like I gave it 5 stars like all the others, but this one is so far my favorite. I cried. I was mad. I was anxious. It's also like I feel like we can really see how far all the characters went, how they grew, etc., etc. And I also really loved the fact that we have like, I believe, 12 point of views, and they all overlapped during some scenes, and you have so many point of views describing the exact same thing at the same moment. And I was like so in it, like I was living it. So I was really like anxious the whole time, and I cried. So there were scenes I'm still not happy with, but yeah.
Okay, so I hated it. Okay, that's a bit harsh, but this is my least favorite book. Parts of it, I was like, fair enough, that's like a 4-star. Parts of it, I was like, I'm giving it a 2. I'm so fed up. I just felt like it was the same thing over and over and over again. And I was like, how am I still reading about the same bloody thing? It's like, we're walking, we're fighting, we're recovering, we're walking, we're fighting, we're recovering for like 400 pages. I was like, fucking shoot me now. And I felt like all of the main characters were not important to like 200 pages in. Like, I'll admit the last 200 pages was really good, and like it was really, really good. I was like, fucking just kill me. I don't want to read this anymore. I was so fed up.
I do get that though, because I feel like I feel like kind of those for all 3 books so far, but especially in Valor as well. What you said, like we're walking and then we're fighting, and now now we've got to recover. It does have that, but
Yeah.
at this point, it's not bothering me yet. But like I do recognize that that's kind of
Yeah.
the trend.
I think.
Yeah.
How many pages are you in?
Like nearly 200, I think.
Okay, so about 200 more of that, or 300. And then you get to the good stuff. I don't know. I guess there is like character development. That's totally fair. I just felt like, yeah, it was the same thing. And this could be cliff notes. This 200 pages could be added to RAF. I would not be mad. And then I'd be like, okay. I feel like they didn't get anywhere. They just went places. Fair enough. But like they barely talked. And for me, talking is like super important. I felt for majority of the book, it was just like fighting without even like any bonding. And the romances, we're told that they like each other. I'm like, I'm not sold, and like I'm not here for the romance, so it's fine. But I was fed up. I gave it 3 stars in the end because, like I said, parts were 4, parts were 2. 3 seems fair to me.
Like what you're saying about the romance, like obviously for me, it's just hints of it so far, but I'm not feeling it. Like it's what you're saying. Like okay, sure, they say that they're attracted to each other, but I'm like, even if it's not the main point, I still want to be like convinced. I still want to be sure that this is actually that they like each other, that there's something going on. And
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm not feeling it.
Why am I the one who doesn't like romance and this one just sold me? It just works for me.
It might change for me, but so far, I'm not feeling it.
I think it's because the romance is so minimal that if you don't like it, you're like, oh, okay, fair enough. But like, I'm not convinced. Whatever, I was convinced in Valor some parts, and now I'm like, you lost me. I don't care anymore. Like, I just find some characters so frustrating, and I'm like, I'd rather you die at this point. I don't care. You're pissing me off now. I just die. I care more. Like, there was a point where I think there was okay, I don't know if we're diving into spoilers, and it's not in the beginning of the book anyway. But there was one point, something happened, and that's when it hit me what my problem was. And I was like, I'm going to throw this book out a window, and that's going to be that.
You don't have to like not talk about spoilers for me. I don't mind because otherwise I wouldn't be here. So you can like
okay. So the point where I was pissed and kind of done was when Macquin attacked Lycus, or whatever his name is, in that tent. And then Macquin got captured again. And I was like, are we still fucking doing this? First of all, how stupid are you? Second of all, why are we here again? And then I think what made me angry is because I talked to Hannon, and she led me to believe that he was gonna stay captured for like next book as well. So I was like, I'm not doing this again. We just did it, blah blah blah. And then she just kind of didn't want to spoil me, so she led me to believe that. So that's fair enough. We don't end up there. Like he gets rescued or whatever, so it's fine. But yeah, I was just like, why are we here? Like, why do I go through this whole book if we're just gonna end up in the same place? And I felt kind of like that. Like the ending was good, so I'm not upset as much as I was towards the book, like half. But yeah, I was just a bit like, it's
like the final comment that Hannon wrote. I agree with that. At least I think I've already had that part, and if it is actually the part, then how?
Yeah, I think he survives quite early on.
Yeah.
I mean, we're told that he survived quite early on.
They fished him out.
Oof.
They
But only so we read another book shown of him and Camlin. What was the reason? It is like the same thing, but I was really happy. So Camlin does kill him eventually in this book, and he decapitates him, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, you learned your lesson. Good job!" Like, I was like, if this swine comes back, very true. Very true. This is what Hannon said about romances, and I really feel this.
Mm-hmm.
I care about Fidel and Macquin, and then everyone else. Well, that's not true. Daph and that Jahar lady that they got married. I loved it. It was so cute. I don't care. It's so
my
cute.
favorite characters at this point in the book are like I don't know how it's pronounced, but like the Raven, the Crow, and Storm. And I know about Storm because I accidentally spoiled myself because I was looking at how many pages the book was.
I
And
don't
it
think
was
she's
like,
dead though. I've refused to believe it. We didn't see a dead body. If she was gonna 100% died confirmed, it had to happen in this book.
yeah, but still, like, just the lines, like, I don't even remember exactly what it was, but something about just her howl.
Yeah, and she
stopping.
stopped howling.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah, I cried.
I refuse. If she's confirmed dead, it had to happen in this book because like the emotional punch would have been too much. If you just kill her, like confirm kill her off in the first 2 pages of Raft, then you don't have the impact. So I don't think so, but I could be wrong. So
If Brant,
I mean,
sorry, if Brant can survive all the, like at the end of last book into this book, I feel like Storm can survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Fidel, Maquin, and Nicole running around the forest. I kept expecting them to show up and do something, but no. So they have to find Storm and like heal her or something. Or Veridis needs to. Another thing, Veridis, like for 90% of this book, he's a total freaking idiot. Then he does the right thing, which is fair enough. But I'm just like, why is it only happening now? I feel like this book should be more of that here. And something that Hannah said when we were talking, it was like we barely learn anything about the lore. I feel and the 7 treasures, like it's such a minor plot point in the later half of the book, but this is just fighting over and over again, and I'm just like, I don't care anymore. Especially because the army got decimated at the end of this book, so it doesn't even matter we amassed all these people because they're dead. I was like, what was the point?
Yeah. But you were skipping parts, no, since book 1, like for everything that concerns like battle scenes, etc. No, Gabby?
This is like one book that I try to read it all because it's actually important. So I feel like if I skip it, like I was like skim reading and didn't realize that Tukul died until Guy was like holding his dead body. I was like, fuck's sake. Like this is an important emotional moment, so it's on me for like skim reading it. But I felt like I read so many battle scenes at that point, I just didn't care. So, and then he died, and I was like, oh shit, should have paid attention. So I feel like this book you can't skim it because if you skip battle scenes, there's nothing in here that you can read. There's nothing else. So I don't know.
Yeah.
No, you're wrong because there'd be walking. You can read about them
It's
walking.
true. I can read about them walking places. If they actually talked when they're walking, that would be better. But they're like, yes, we walked for 2 months, and now we're here. Cool. Thanks for that, bro. Cool journey you just took me on. Oh, I don't know.
True.
This is an interesting comment from Hannah because I am curious how they're going to turn it around because they were actually like amassing an army and they had a decent ish chance. But now, like, how? Unless it's going to be Deus Ex Machina, I don't know how they're going to win. But yeah.
Maybe Elion suddenly comes and like, I'm here, my babies, to save you or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
where are they gonna lose?
Well, because they have no like. I think what she means is like, so the other army is basically everyone, and our army is like 10 people, and like we just lost everyone. Unless Alien, which would be a Deus Ex Machina, comes from the heaven and saves everyone. How are you gonna win? It's like, I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see in the next book because I believe like Rat is gonna start right where this one stopped, as it is usually the case. I mean, as it has been the case for all 3 books. No, I mean 2 books, 2 last books. Yeah. So we shall see. Something's gonna happen. I don't believe they're gonna lose.
Yeah, I mean they're not gonna lose because it's a book, but like
that would be the ultimate plot twist, though.
Imagine that. I don't know,
Sorry,
but maybe.
Guys. Sorry, guys. Good doesn't win in this series. Told you.
I mean, it is. This series is just being hurt over and over and over. I'm like, give me a win. And like when they won their battle at the end, the first one, I was like, oh no. There's too much left.
I love how you just have to specify, like, not just the battle at the end, but like the first one. The first battle at the end.
First battle at the end. It was a good battle, but like, I was like, oh no, they won. something bad's coming. Then it did.
Okay, you're not saying that because you want them to lose. You just like expect the worst now.
Yeah. No. I wasn't like, oh no, they won. I was happy they won, but I knew there was another like 50 pages left or something. I don't know. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, something bad's gonna happen. I mean, it's before finale, something bad has to happen. But I was like, oh. So yeah. I feel like I'm bashing it too much. So what do you guys want to talk about? And we can discuss why you think it's good. Which now I feel like fair enough. Both of you thought it was good, so it's just me.
Let's talk about the fact that Nathir has now 2 more daddies to worry about. Okay, like I could not get this out of my head the whole time. I was just like, he's got Lycos, his stepdaddy, and then he's got McQuinn, and he's mad at both of them. Okay.
I'm
I
sorry,
had
that's
no
really
hope for
funny.
that chair. I don't like him. I don't get him.
Oh my god, what a pushover.
Mm-hmm.
He really disappointed me in this book.
Mm.
I thought like, oh, hello. Hello. Thanks for coming. It was funny. I really liked it when they were like just like monsters eating everyone. I thought it was amusing.
And I love how he just kind of looks at them endeared, like, oh, they have so much to learn. Meanwhile, they're tearing people apart and eating people. And I'm like, okay, this is not,
No, it's very true. No, I think that's here. I was like, and now I'm thinking I also I'm saying his name wrong because I reread the name. I was like, wait, I think I added some letters to this name. But anyway, the guy, I was so disappointed. Like I feel like he didn't really do anything either way. So he didn't really become like super evil, whatever, and he didn't rebel against that and do something good either. So he's just like there now, and I find like he was quite interesting in the first book, and I saw a lot of potential. But I feel like we barely hear from him. There was a couple of chapters in the beginning, but then once he's like, "Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna do this," and then he just kind of does it, and then Calidius tells him what to do for 90, like all the book, and even like when he found out that Lycus raped his mother, and he was like, yeah, sure, but you're a crazy lady. And I understand that he was influenced and Calidius was like, oh, I'm gonna fuck you up or whatever. I don't know. But it's just like, grow a backbone. I was really disappointed by him. At least Verdis, when he found out, he was like, I'm gonna go kill Calidus, even though I was like, child, you're brave, but this is a stupid idea. So yeah. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed by him.
Yeah, same. I mean, I wasn't disappointed. I don't like him to begin with, so I wasn't expecting anything good or smart. I was just curious to see what role he would have all along this book. But yeah.
I mean, I thought it was kind of interesting that so far, I mean, Nathir was fully convinced that he was the good guy. And I mean, I love that idea of him just finding out at some point that he was actually, not the good guy. But so far, I mean, let me think. What did I read? So far, he has had the talk with Calidus, and then Asroth did the truth thingy, something. And now they're on the road, and that's about it. And he's basically not talked or done anything. So I was just hoping, I suppose, that he'd become more active in whatever way, but apparently not.
I think that's pretty much the last of his perspective and the last of him doing anything interesting. So he just kind of gets crazier and crazier. He starts being very like loud and shouting and aggressive. I feel like that's a new personality trait because he didn't really do that before. He was more like charismatic. And I guess it's like, oh, he's under a lot of pressure, so he's like crumbling. But yeah.
But what if
he believed he was good, so he probably behaved accordingly to that. Like the same for the prophecy. Like you don't need, like someone was saying, wait, what? You have to want to do something in order to be something or whatever. You have to believe. I don't remember exactly what they said to Corbin. But what was it? you don't need to have magic blood. You don't need to have like royal parents in order to be a prince, in order to be a leader. You just have to have people believing in you. And I feel like Nather, he had maybe some people believing in him, but he believed in himself as well. So that's why he was completely different. And when he realized that it wasn't the case anymore, he lost that part of himself. So what he's gonna do now? Like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you're saying that, I think it's quite interesting because, like, so we find out that the prophecy is not true and it's all made up. So, like, Corbin
This,
kind of
this
goes
is
through.
new information for me. What is
Yes.
this about a made-up prophecy?
So you know the prophecy,
Yeah.
like about the bright star and the
Yeah, sword and shield standing by his
it's all
side.
made up
Yeah.
by the Benelin, or like Mako, I think his name is. So
Okay.
it's all made up because I'm assuming they just want the god Alien to calm down because he's like, what the fuck's happening? I think that's
Yeah.
what they want to do, but it's a bit unclear because he's like, I can't tell you.
No.
Anyway, so that happens. So I guess Corbin now, well, no, I guess like Corbin had just the same thing happen to him where he was told that he was this like prophesized savior, and he learns that that was all bullshit and they were bait basically. So like it's curious, like the parallel between him and Nata here, or whatever how you say his name, is just like how they're gonna handle it. So this book is just so good about like not metaphors, but like themes and all that. So I can appreciate it. I'm just like just stay up the fighting and I'll be good. So yeah.
But what if, like in the final book, Nather actually turns over to the good side and brings lots of the people with him?
It's possible.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I haven't read most of Ruin, so I'm not sure where we're at. But
I finished the book, but I don't know where I'm going. Like, honestly, I have no idea where we're going with Wrath. So
yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
See, I was actually still holding out hope that Storm would survive because of the prophecy, but now my hope's been completely dashed.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope she will survive. I mean, we didn't see a body. We just stopped, like, but it was heartbreaking because at the end, he was like, it's not the fact that she was howling that made me sad, but the fact that I couldn't hear her howling anymore. So I started like crying, ugly crying.
Yeah. No, that was definitely the most like heartbreaking part. Like I was like close to tears at that part. I was like, I'm almost forgiving you, book, because this is some good shit.
But even for the Raven, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was really bummed. I wasn't crying about that, but I was like really bummed.
I was like, what the fuck? Get that eagle, drag it down, eat it for like barbecue, whatever.
Oh, and also Kraft ended up having this hero moment, and I was like, yes, you go, boy. And then he became like super attached to Corbin, which I just thought was
so. Does the Raven also die?
One of them.
The Raven dies. We just keep the crow. Like the crow is still alive.
Fech, I think.
Yeah.
At least that's how I pronounce it with my Dutch.
I say Setch. I thought it was.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, based on like the Celtic stuff, it's based on. I'd say they would use the Fech.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I don't
That's
know.
what I think. Yeah.
But at least Kraft survived so far.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, but it was also so sad. Like
I always
kill animals and I'm crying.
Like those three are my favorite characters, like Fech, Kraft, and Storm, and 2 out of 3 are dead.
Wait, this is a perfect segue because Hannah asked, "Did your face change with this book?" And I feel like that's a good segue.
For me, no. I still love Corbin a lot. Storm, she got puppies, so I want to know. And apparently you say Kaiwan and not Saiwan for the sister.
Yes,
Kaiwan.
because I had the audiobook, so it's Kaiwan, and it's not Fidel, it's Fiddly, apparently.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird. But
wow, okay.
I mean, if we say Fidel, I know who we're talking about. Fidel is fine.
Yeah, Reyna. I still love Reyna.
I was so sad when Heb died.
Oh yeah, that was hard.
Does the giant survive? Like Baylor One Eye?
No, I think he's dead.
Was I mean, to be expected, honestly, but
yeah, that was pretty sad. I quite liked him.
and
I feel
his daughter, Ethlyn, does she survive?
I guess so. I don't remember her being killed. It's kind of a big question mark at the end of the book anyway, because
Right.
they're like escaping, so we don't really
Yeah.
know who survives. I don't remember her being mentioned being killed.
No, me neither. But there's so many names, so many like
yeah,
things to
for sure.
remember.
I was like, he has a daughter? Who the fuck is this lady? When I was reading, because he mentioned her, I was like, who? And I was like, did she never heard this person's name before? I don't know what happened, but yeah.
I think we met Evelyn for the first time in Valor. She was up in the room with Nemine, with like the giant queen. And Evelyn was dreaming. She was having the visions, and she was the reason that they started fortifying. What was it called? Murias, I think, like the giant fortress of the Benothi. Like she was the reason they started fortifying it because she saw that Nether and his army were coming. Yeah. So what Hanan says in her last comment.
Oh.
Not sure if it's it's something like the future. She has visions.
I don't feel like they established that very well, considering I don't think it was meant. Was it mentioned in this book? That her?
No,
at all?
the second one. It was mentioned in Valor.
Yeah, but like, what was this for? Not talking about people who can see the future. I need to compose myself. I'm sorry about that. My favorite last book was Camlin, and I still really like him, but I don't know. I really like Halen or whatever, like the little kid that like 11 years old, and he's the king. And he ran away with Tahir, I think his name is. I love him because he, like, towards the end of the book, he becomes like obsessed with Carbon, and he has this whole passage when he's like, I don't want to be king. Carbon should be king because he's the best, and then he keeps just talking about how awesome Carbon is, and he takes care of like Storm's puppies, and I was like, this is adorable. So I really like him now.
Yeah. So does Halion survive, or is he dead as well?
No, I think he's alive.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't. He's not dead confirmed, so I'm assuming he's alive.
You know what? Every time someone's gonna die, I'm gonna write down the name so I can remember for the show.
Yeah. Well, I tried to like mark it when important people died, but this is Verdis.
Edana, I love Edana.
Oh, I love her too. I wish she had more to do in this book.
But I feel like in this book we learned more about, like, we had so many point of views. I mean, for me it was way more than in the previous books, and I feel like this book was really like in the action, and we learned about so many betrayals, I feel, compared to the others as well. And I feel like the last one's going to be so intense, and I don't know if we're going to have as many point of views, but I would like it maybe to be like less point of view so we can really build strong feelings towards some characters, like we had at the very first book. But I feel like we just got some bits of everyone, and that was also maybe to make us like anxious or scared or whatever, because as we didn't read a lot regarding like Edana, for instance, we didn't know. So because we had like a huge chunk of months, like 3 months there, we just read like in 2 chapters or whatever, and then okay, where is everyone? Who died? Who's alive? What's happening? So I feel like maybe it's going to be different in the last one, but I don't know. That made me anxious to not read about the main characters, let's say, as much as we did previously.
Yeah, that's something I noticed too, but it like more annoyed me than anything, because I felt like we kept getting perspective from all these randos, and some of them I understand why they were chosen. Some of them I was like, I just want to read from Carbon's point of view. Like he in Malice, he had loads of point of view characters, so like I got attached to him, And now I'm never hearing from him ever, ever, ever. It got better towards the end. Like when I was having these frustrations in my vlog, I was like going off, and then next chapter was like all Corbin. So I was like, well, I feel like an idiot now. But I do feel like there was a good chunk of the book when we don't hear from any of the main characters and just like the most random people. Like, why did we hear from Orpheus? Like, except for that, like, I really loved reading the battle scene from his perspective because he gets murdered and it's just like him seeing all of his like people die, and he was like, well, I'm getting out of here now. He was really funny. So like for that one chapter, I feel like it was worth it.
Who was that?
So he was one of the shield men of Jael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jael.
right. Yeah.
Like, yeah, who is he? He's not important at all. I don't know why we're reading from his perspective, but he had one funny chapter, so I'll forgive it. But that's it. Like, I don't know. And there was so many of them. Like, I don't understand why we need 20 point of view characters. Well, there's probably less than 20. I didn't count. But, like, why do we need so many? And we never hear from the main characters. And that's also, for me, the romance. We never hear from people who are in the romance, so why would I care? And, like, Coraline actually kissed Corbin. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. You lost me a long time ago, so now I don't care. It was so anticlimactic. It's just like... And I could have loved Saiwen, or however you say... and Veridis, but like there's one book left. I don't feel like there's enough to sell me on it, and they just keep thinking about each other when I saw them talk twice. So it's just like I need more.
Yeah, I also fully agree with Hannon's last comment. Like, how do the good guys die after being looked at wrong, and the bad guys survive stabbing, poisoning, and drowning?
Yeah, it's very true.
Because I liked Castell. I was so sad when he died.
Yeah. I don't know if you got there yet, but we actually have a little cameo from him. And I loved it. You know when they were so McQueen gets hurt and almost dies, and he goes to the bridge, you know, where you cross over to the other world, and he actually meets Castell, and I was like, oh, baby. So sad. I do think like he died for McQueen's like character arc, so that's why he died. Like there was a purpose to it, kind of thing. But yeah.
Yeah, but I would have liked it the other way around, honestly, because I like Castell better than I like McQueen.
Yeah, well, I like him now, but I didn't care about him first book. So. And yeah, this, I was like, they like Saiwen and Veridis, they always think about each other, always, but they barely spoke. Why are you so obsessed with this man? Like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Maybe it's like maybe it's like.
Sorry,
maybe it's like the whole hero, like, you know, complex kind of thing. Like, you know, like, oh, he saved me, like, you know, he's my protector and stuff. And then like, you know, Veridis was like all like protective over her, like because like she was kind of like this innocent like little, you know, girl like that he was trying like to protect like from the masses and stuff. And I wonder like if that like right there like kind of created dynamics like for like their overall like affection.
I think he's just really hot. That's why she's like, yeah. I'm sorry. Like, Alkion or the giant, he saved her life. And she doesn't think about him when he was such a good friend to her.
But he's a giant.
Exactly. And Veridis is hot. Veridis is hot. That's
probably.
I mean, just lugging the shield around all day is bound to, you know, develop some muscle as well. So I'm sure he's good to look at.
Maybe he has a hairy back. They keep describing all these people like as being like super hairy and all that, like all these giants. And I'm like, maybe he's got a hairy back. Like if she's not into it.
Well, we'll never know, or maybe we'll know in Wrath, I guess.
I love how they're just describing the giants as being like you can't distinguish between the males and the females except for the fact that the females have no beards, and I'm like, there must be more to it than just the females having no beard.
I was thinking about that, yeah. I guess it's like animals, they can distinguish between each other, but if I look at a fox and there's just one fox, I have no clue. Because it's like, they're not smaller or bigger, so I don't know. I was like, maybe the giants, I'm sure they know. I don't know. Poor giants, man. I do love the giants.
Yeah. We got to see more of the drakes as well, no? In this book? Like, at least we heard more of them.
I'm still not sure how to imagine the drakes because I kind of imagine like a huge Komodo lizard.
Yeah.
I imagine like a dragon, like but more
Yeah,
like
without wings. Yeah.
yeah, but like flatter in some way, like very close to the ground. I don't know how
Yeah,
to explain.
I keep seeing it as just a giant lizard, like a giant salamander, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's more. I think I googled it once. Well, I don't know. You know the ACOTAR series. So Manon, no, not ACOTAR. Throne of Glass. So Manon rides something, but it's not a dragon, but it's kind of like a dragon. So I imagine like that. That was so unhelpful because I didn't even say what the name was.
I was honestly so confused about like I don't know how it's pronounced, but like the aurochs. Apparently, it's like a giant cow because I looked it up. It's like a giant what's it called? Extinct species of cow because they led one of those things into the drake's enclosure to feed it, and I was like, but what is this? Because I have no idea what this is, and apparently it's like a giant cow.
But is it like mythological or
no?
Oh, just like a big cow.
It's just a big cow that's extinct.
Well, you say giant cow. I'm like, I don't know what to imagine. How giant is this cow?
Well, I mean, I think it's like shoulder height's like 2 meters, so I consider that a pretty giant cow.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, it looks like a cow, so
it's a cow. I mean, why couldn't it just say cow?
I don't know.
Maybe they want you to know it's a big cow.
Yeah, but then just say big cow.
Yeah, but if it has a fancy name, it's more like fantasy. You know what I mean? Like
I thought it was a magical cow. I was very confused when you were like.
I wasn't even aware it was a cow until I looked it up.
That's breeded by the giants.
Yeah. And Hannah is right. They are dying very easily, and she is right. How is the Vintaloon so hard to kill? Bloody hell, I hate them so much. The fact that Lycus is still alive boils my blood. He needs to die.
I have a question. The two giants, like the female giant and the child that Lycos has somewhere on the ship, do we find out what's going on with that?
To an
extent.
If so,
what is going on with it?
So they're a family of Alcyon, the giant that's under. Yeah, but we don't really find out why he has them.
Oh, but that it does explain what Alcyon does. What he's doing.
Well, so he is controlled by Calidus because he has his hair in the little effigy. Yeah, so that's why he does his bidding. But they don't really explain why Lycus of all people has his wife and son, but I don't know. I'm sure they're gonna mention it next week. But yeah. I was super curious about that actually, because they kept teasing it and I was like, what's up with that? And they were like, come into the room, in the there was this big hearing, whatever, and they brought them, and then I was like, finally we'll find out. And they were like, no, get rid of them. I was like, why are you teasing me? If you're not even saying. But yeah. Oh, I did like this part. So
tell me the tea.
So in Drassil, in that big old
tree, the tree house.
Yeah, well, I think it's like a whole ass town. From what I was really confused actually at first. I thought it was just the forest, but it's like a big fortress. So the giants used to live there, and the king of the giants was killed by Balor One Eye.
Yeah,
with the spear, and he did that because his wife,
Nimine,
which was the old queen of giants, was pregnant with Balor's child, which is that girl that sees the future. The giant girl.
Oh,
that's the tea there. But yeah. Sorry, all this time. I actually wanted to talk about something because I don't understand it, and maybe you paid more attention than me. So Trig, the giant girl from Graham's Hold, I think. So I was really confused about her character because so basically Graham's Hold gets attacked, right? and it's attacked, and then Halen is hiding in that cellar, and then Trig goes, it gets Halen and says like, yeah, I'm gonna get you out, right? So he gets away, and then Graham and his son are being tortured, so Trig is like, I know where this kid is, let me show you, and she brings him to the cellar, and they're like, oh, he's not here. And then Graham people didn't know, so they're like, oh, you're a traitor. But she's not a traitor because she knew he wasn't there, right? So I thought she was stalling for time or just trying to like trick him or something. So cool. But then Trig ends up betraying everyone and showing them the way to Drasil, which how does she even know? Did she follow them? I guess she could have followed them and saw it. And then she's like, yeah, they betrayed me and they mistreated me. But I don't get it. I thought she was on their side and she was on Halen's side because she saved him. So I'm super confused why she betrayed them in the end, because she's the reason that everyone dies, basically, because she betrayed them and led them to Drasil. So am I missing something? I'm so confused.
I think I missed it too then.
Yeah, I think I did too, but like it makes me like wonder like if maybe like it was like another like way to bait them and like into going like to where they wanted them to go.
Maybe.
I'm hoping like we find out more about that, because like I didn't feel like that was super clear either.
Yeah. No, I was like hella confused. Because like, yeah, I thought she was on their side because she said, I was just like, I don't understand what her motivations are. She just comes out of nowhere. It's like, I know the way to Drasil. We've not been shown how she knows. But yeah, it was very strange. So I'm very curious to hear about it. If we never hear about it again, I'd be really pissed because I don't understand this character's motivation. And it's quite like a big part. So
yeah.
I felt
there are many things that were quite confusing in this book, to be honest. People behavior like didn't make sense or whatever, so I don't know. But I didn't pay attention that much. Maybe I should have. But I just felt like everyone was betraying everyone.
Was a lot of betrayal.
Yeah, I was just not looking for the reasons. I was just like really into the story. I wanted to know what was coming next, etc. Because I was like really anxious. Like when I'm saying I was anxious reading that book, I really was. Like it's not like a funny way to describe it, but maybe I should pay attention more to that kind of things in the next book, because I guess I missed it. Yeah.
It's just because like I really like the character moments because I was so fed up with fight scenes. So whenever someone had a nice character moment, I was like, oh, she's a friend now. And then I just liked her because she was hanging out with Halen and then she's taking it. So I was like, and I was like so sad because the people thought that she betrayed them. But I was like, but she didn't though. But now I'm like questioning myself and my judgment whether like, because she was the one that got him out of the cellar, right? I'm not misremembering that. I don't think I am. So I was like, did I misread it? I'm so confused. So yeah, I thought she knew. I thought his son knew as well, because when Halen is such a like a, I'm just like, I don't know if I spaced out when I read part of this book, but I felt like the logic wasn't logicking there for a second. It's like,
yeah. I don't know. Whenever I felt confused or whatever, I was like, but that's after reading the ending and after reading the fact that there was no prophecy, I was like, okay, it makes sense. Because usually when there is a prophecy in a book, it directs the story. It directs every single character. But here it was a little bit all over the place. Things didn't make sense all the time. And I was like, maybe that was on purpose. Because at the end, they were all like players of some game, but at the end there is no game anymore. I mean, there is no rule because there is no prophecy. So I don't know. I'm still bothered by the fact that the prophecy was just like created out of the blue. I mean, I wasn't even expecting it, to be honest. I was just like, okay, no, what?
Yeah. No, I took it as like, yeah, there's a prophecy. That's a fact that I was not questioning in my head.
I kept thinking, like throughout the entire time, like before we found out, like about that Calidus was going to end up being the Black Star, you know, instead of Nathir. And I kept thinking to myself, I was just like, there's no way Nathir being a puppet for this is the actual Black Star, because like they usually have some sort of figurehead, like in misdirection, to protect like the real enemy, you know? So I kept thinking, I'm just like, I was like, there's got to be like something else going on here. And I mean, like that, like, I was just like, what is going on? Like, so we went through like this entire like situation, just like, and everybody's a pawn in these, like, I don't know, like, they're Ben Elm, but I don't know, like, if they're like considered like demigods or angels or, you know, whatever they're considered. But it's just weird to me, like, that everything was bait. And like, why are we trying to bait him out? Because like, they would have to be sure that they would be able to put him back in once he's baited out.
Yeah. Well, I guess they don't want him back in because they just want him to. Because they were like, our sole purpose for being like alive is to worship this god. So we're kind of like, yeah. I mean, no, I think you're totally right. I thought it was interesting that in the end, what Calidus said about there not being pure evil and pure good is like true. Like he did not lie. Like that's kind of like what it was. And I kept thinking how it was interesting how Corbin came to be the leader, because I feel like normally there's a prophecy, but like even this like upstart villager from nowhere, like usually he like builds up an army and following by like being super heroic or doing something and like amassing them that way. But with Corbin, in fact, felt more like he was told he was the leader and then he started doing heroic things and amassing things. But I don't think he was very leadering when he didn't know he was supposed to be the leader, like when they were just running away with Edna. Like, I'm not saying he didn't do heroic things, but he wasn't super like, I'm a leader. But then once he find out that he was the bright star, he like stepped into the leadership position. And I just thought it was super interesting because normally in prophecies, that's not how it goes. And it's like, I'm not criticizing it. I actually think it's really good and really interesting take. And then we find out that prophecy is not even true. And I don't know, I was kind of mind blown because I was like, wow, so it really is all manufactured with like, he was giving this role and he stepped into it, but he was not like destined for it or anything. So that's why he didn't really do anything leadership before. And also, I'm like, how did you choose this random ass boy? If you just manufactured everything, I don't know why he was chosen. Like, awesome, but like,
yeah, I have a question. When did he create that? And also, at the in the very first book, Malice, what was the secret between the mom, Gar, and everything? If it wasn't linked to that prophecy, was it already the prophecy back then?
yeah,
I think so.
I think it was.
So the prophecy was created before he got Storm and Shield.
So the prophecy, I think, was created. Yeah, it was like years and years ago, because the way he said he created the prophecy was that he like whispered it in the ear of the giant that wrote down the prophecy, but he just like he just gave him the idea, and then the idea grew like to be so much more. So I think it was like way before Corbin was born. But the fact that the prophecy is like manufactured means that Michael could have chosen literally anyone he wanted to, because there's no signs.
There is a coincidence. He got a wolf named Storm, a horse named Shield. Okay, in the prophecy, you don't see these names as animals' names, as pets' names, or whatever. But still, I find it weird. I cannot grab that idea. I mean,
I'm not sure if Ethlyn was alive at that point, but if she could see like flashes of the future and she had like someone whispering bias in her ear, Corbin lives and Corbin has a wolf named Shield. No, a wolf named Storm and a horse named Shield. Sorry, I was confused. So couldn't that have kind of caused her to be biased in her predictions as well? Kind of leading into like this circle.
He did that like ages before he was born, right? Like, it's not a new prophecy. I don't think it's a new prophecy. I think it was like...
No, I think it has hundreds of years.
Yeah, I think so. Exactly. So it's not like it influenced her. Oh, because you're saying she can see the future. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But so can she see the future?
Whispering in her ear, and he was kind of biased
in her ear. No, it was some other giants. No.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was Ethlyn, but someone like... I haven't read it, obviously, so I'm not sure what the details are, but something like that.
So because in the end, he says, Meiko, when he tells him, he's like, well, maybe Elias the god does have something to do with it, because to the point where, because he was like, you somehow grew into this prophecy, which is fake, but you like meet the things. So he was like, maybe the god is helping. So maybe it'll be like a plot twist that it was a fake prophecy, which is actually a real prophecy because Elias influenced Meiko to do it, or some shit like that. I don't know. But yeah, you are right. It's kind of weird how, I'm sure we're gonna find out. Like, he's not gonna just like leave it at that.
Yeah,
but
maybe it's just gonna prove that one's path can be controlled by other people believing that you are some kind of leader in a prophecy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
maybe the parents were. I don't know. I just find
But-
that disturbing.
At the same time, I also feel like Nether was influenced by, you know, the fake prophecy, because Nether started doing things so that the prophecy became truth, kind of, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. So
Yeah,
it's
and
kind
they
of like
don't know.
a circle.
Yeah, and now they don't know it's not true, right?
Yeah.
So only Corbin knows, and I'm curious to see where it's going, with one part knowing about it and the other part not knowing about it.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
curious. But yeah, that
I'm kind
prophecy thing bothered.
I think especially for like Jahar, who literally spent what, like 16 years living in like Ascent of Nowhere and doing nothing else but this, to be like, oh, this was fake all along. That must like really mess you up though. So I don't know if he'll tell. I mean, he has to tell him who's he's the hero, but like if he decides that he still wants to fight, isn't it better to keep the lie up, to keep their morale up, because they think God is behind them? Like literally, God is the like their chosen of the God, right? So that would really kill your morale if you're just like, nah, we're here on our own, we're fighting against demons, and our angel's dead. So cheers to that. Like,
I don't know how I feel about like, what's his name? Medisil? Yeah.
so, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about him telling Corbin, because I feel like that was self-defeating, unless like we're gonna see like some like, you know, self-believing character arc like later on, you know, like it's all about like him believing in himself. But like I feel like it would have been more beneficial to maybe like, hey Gar, guess what? I made it up. And then Gar like maybe go through like, you know, and be like, oh, you know, like I'm not sure, you know, kind of like going through like a crisis, like questioning stuff, rather than having Corbin question it. Because like now that Corbin's questioning it, like he's gonna be like not as, I don't know, like I feel like it could open him up like to dying, because I feel like had he known during like that big battle that he like that this prophecy was fake, he would not have believed in himself enough to have survived that.
No, you're very
I
right.
agree.
And like I feel like his whole arc through this book was growing into the leader or the prophecy or the hero that he was supposed to be. But now he's gonna have
That
a
everyone
crisis
is
of faith.
expecting. He
Yeah,
grew up in,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like now we're back in square one because he's gonna doubt himself and grow into the power of. That's the only thing that I'm feeling like the books are going in circles, because like we're just back where we started. But no, yeah, I get it. And oh, Hannah said, oh, sorry, that's not what I was meant to. So he whispered into the giant before the scourging. So that was like hundreds of or thousands of years ago. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious to see if people are going to be like, oh, okay, so there is no prophecy. We're not going to listen to Corbin anymore. Or, oh, but we went that far with him, even without the prophecy. So it could mean even more. So I'm curious to see which side it's going to go on.
Yeah, because they could be like, oh, no, we love you anyway.
It's not like we love you anyway, but
yeah,
just
but
like
you've done this much kind of thing.
Yeah, you have no power, but you just like us now. He's not part of a prophecy. He's just like everyone else. And we're here. We're still alive thanks to you. So for me, that's also great power. But yeah, I don't know. Belief is stronger sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm so curious.
I am so curious, like about what was it, Siwen, his sister. Sheep is picking up the whole elemental thing very quickly. And it kind of like makes me like wonder like where that's going to go. Like I hope we see more of that like in the last book, because I feel like that's something that we really like need to capitalize on, like as far as like abilities and stuff. And I wonder like if maybe like that, like maybe her ability like to catch on so much like might be like maybe she'll be like like the deciding factor like in the end, like whether or not they win.
Yeah. I thought of that, especially because everyone that talked to her was like, okay, you're Corbin's sister. You're Corbin's sister. It was never, oh, you. You know what I mean? So I feel like she's going to have a bigger role by the end. She's going to be like surprisingly stronger than everyone is expecting.
Yeah.
And I hope so.
I also, with that, I thought Brenna was gonna try to bring Heb back from life. I don't remember exactly, but when Simon runs away with the book and she reads what Brenna was reading, and to me, it kind of sounded like a resurrection thing. So I thought she was gonna try her hand in resurrection, but we kind of abandoned that later because she was acting super weird and like really recluse and blah blah. And then we kind of abandoned it. So I don't know if we're gonna come back to that. But I was like, what's up with Brina? Because I feel like she's gonna like go crazy or something. But yeah, no, you're very right about Simon. I think because she is like almost as main character as Corbin. She probably has more POV like perspectives than him.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's been very useless, hasn't she? So.
And for the love of God, if her and Vertus do not get actually together, like in the next book, I'm gonna be saying some stuff. I'm like, like that's gonna make me very like not happy. Like I'm half tempted to tweet like John Gwynne, like at the end of that, if nothing happens, like why did you do this?
Because sometimes it leads to nothing.
I would be so mad though if it was all this teasing and thinking and everything, and one of them was to die.
I didn't even think about it.
I'm not sure what would be worse, just nothing happening, like nothing coming of it, or just one of them dying.
Oh, an open and ending.
They have to really sell me on it for me to be like, yes, I care about this. I mean, I was so sold, and I thought what was gonna happen is because there was that period when they almost all met, and I thought Vertus was gonna like get captured by Corbin and Co, and then like it'll be challenged that way, his beliefs, but no. They just told him. I don't know. Everything felt a bit anticlimactic. I've been waiting for all these things for such a long time, and then just like they just tell, and I'm like, no. Why is this not more of a struggle? I don't. But I do love Fidel, and she's such a badass bitch. She was like, "You are Kadashim, and what did you do to my son, sir?" And they were like, "Shit, she's got his son," and she was there for 5 minutes. I was like, "I love this woman. She's my favorite character, and like she's the only one with sense. Her and Camlin are the only ones with sense." So I was like, fair enough.
Yeah, I just love how dry Camlin is. Like he's so like,
oh my god, what him and Meg? This is like a little adopted daughter he has. This is so adorable. I love it. Also, I'm sorry, just one thing that I was like, are you joking? Did Rafi become immortal? Because I'm pretty sure he became immortal because he drank from the cup he found in the
who?
In the Rafi? Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Rafi.
Yeah,
no.
Rafi.
Like the bully from Dunkirk.
No, he found the cup. Cup in the thingy, and like when he was like, "Oh, I found something in this bog or whatever you call," and I was like, "Oh, it's a cup," and then he drank from it, and then we like that's the last we hear from him, and I was like, "Did he just become immortal? What the fuck?"
I just hope he dies. I hope it doesn't work.
I mean, are they becoming immortal, or can they just live very, very?
It's a very, very, very long life, but they live like thousands. Like you can still be killed. But you can't back them all day.
I mean, like Uthas and Balor, One Eye, and Ethlyn and Nemine, they all drank from the cup, but they still. I mean, I'm not sure all of them died. Most of them died, but so they can still die. So they're not truly immortal in that sense. But I think it just takes a really long time for them to die naturally.
Yeah,
like at least 2,000 years, because I think that was the time from the scourging until now, and that was how long Nemine has been queen.
Oh
she was killed.
I mean, even Balor, that's all dry because he got her pregnant.
Yeah,
like when before the scourging.
Or was it? No, I think the scourging was about 1,000 years ago because Uthas drank from the cup, right before the scourging happened. He was like one of the last ones to drink from the cup, and he was about 1,000 years old, I think. I remember him saying at one point. But Nemine was way older. She was like 2,000-ish.
Old, very old.
Very old, yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like Rafe, I could be convinced. He kind of grew on me in this book. He's still the worst, but at the same time, at least he really like his dogs, and I respect that. And like, I just really like his relationship with like, I feel like he's just looking for a daddy, and that's the thing. Like, he's just looking for someone to accept him and love him. And the thing is, like, he really hates Corbin because his hounds, Storm killed his dad, which is fair enough. But like, the reason that why Corbin's dad is dead is because Rafe and the whatever betrayed them. So I feel like it's like Rafe could. I don't know. I feel like he's not super evil anymore. He was like pretty bad when he was a kid, but he's not that bad anymore. So I don't know if we're building up to his redemption or like what. That's how I feel about him. It's just, he survives way too much. Everyone's like, no, don't kill him. He's just a kid. He's not okay. Isn't he like? Are there like? I realized all of these books are like a year's worth, so they're all getting like up there with the age now.
Yeah, I think at one point in Valor, Corbin turned 17.
So he's at least 18 now.
Or maybe it was at the start of Ruin. I'm not sure.
No, I believe it was in Valor. No? Oh, at the very beginning.
He had some
Ruin.
birthday here, I think.
Yeah. But wasn't he 18?
Yeah, I think he might be.
Yeah, I mean, Rafe is a couple of years older, I think, because he sat his long night before Corbin did. So I think that Rafe would be like 20 or something now.
Yeah, he's not a kid anymore, especially by these people's standards.
No. Because I feel like these people stop being kids at 14.
Yeah, when they take their long night and their sword.
Wait.
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. The thing of this book is like, I feel like this series, I mean, like each character could change sides and I'd probably be sold on it because the author does have the power of like being quite convincing with the development and stuff. So like I several points I expected really important people to just change sides and I was like, what?
But that's also showing us that it's not all black, it's not all right, that evil is evil depending on the point of view you have, etc., etc. So depending on the information you get and the life experience you get, you can turn one way or the other. That's what I love about this book.
I also feel like that's just a theme to show that, like, you know, not someone who's evil doesn't have to just do evil things, and someone who's good doesn't have to do just good things. I mean, Corbin's killed a lot of people, which by modern standards would make him a pretty bad person, I suppose. But, you know, it's just a matter of also, yeah, like, okay, you may be on like the good side, but that doesn't mean you're excluded from doing bad things in the name of good.
This fantasy series really feels like grimdark to me, like not like extreme grimdark, but like with like hints of like a lot of grimdark.
Yeah, it's not like gore-ish, etc., but it's still like.
So which brother is this? Is this Hector, or is it the other one, of whom I do not know the name?
Hector, yeah, he betrays them, and I agree. I felt like it was a bit like, really? I really liked him, so I was really disappointed. I was like, I'm not sold. And yeah, I do feel like his dad was like pretty good, but I don't know. We all have our things, but yeah. And yeah, when the other brother kills him, and okay, so spoiling a lot for you here. So, Veridis' dad falls on Veridis' sword and dies. And then Hector's like, haha, I pushed him. So the other brother kills Hector. And Veridis like, what the hell did you do that for? And then the other brother's like, yeah, he killed the dad. He pushed him. He was like, oh, fair enough. And I thought it was really funny. And so the whole interaction felt really like, okay, sorted, yeah. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
What was the reason, indeed? Some people are just greedy.
Yeah. True.
I
don't know if there was something else I wanted to talk about.
That's an interesting point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think that's very true. Like, they both like started from the same place and found out the same things and reacted very differently, and yeah, shows the strength of their characters, I think.
But I
I
also
think
like
there's
that
a lot of parallels.
Veridis had been basically doubting things they had been doing before. Like, Nathair had been telling them, like, well, you have to do this for the greater good and blah, blah, blah. And Veridis was like, but are we doing this for the greater good? Because it doesn't feel so good. And I love that. I think that just shows that he is a good person, except, following the wrong people.
Hmm.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always found Nathair kind of like slimy.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. I know. I still really like Veridis, though. Like, I have so much hope for him. Like, as far as like maybe he'll go like join Corbin. Like, now that he's, because I'm like sure like after like him trying to kill Calidus, like he's considered a traitor.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and I kind of feel like at some point McQuinn and Fidel are going to end up on Corbin's side also, just because like they're kind of like not on the same side. Like, whatever, I guess I feel like whatever side Lycos is on, they need to be on the opposite side of that.
Yeah, well, I thought they were gonna find the Drassel and join them, but apparently not.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend with a lot of these people. So,
all right, should we end on this question? Oh, sorry, that's the wrong question. I agree. I was like, you're stupid but brave, and I love you.
was that Veridis? Did Veridis step Calidus?
Yeah, he was like, I need to go kill him.
Way to go.
That's another thing. Makel dies and he goes real easy in comparison to Calidus, who's basically more like he can't be killed. Yeah. So I was like, I'm confused. I thought they were kind of the same thing.
Does he die?
Yeah. Very unceremonious.
Who's in charge then?
They're all spread to the winds, so God knows. He died at the end, so.
No, but Corbin was taken, right?
Yeah. And so Simon's taken. Everyone's taken.
Who takes them?
Oh, no, sorry. Calidus doesn't die. Makel dies.
Yeah, I know, but does Calidus take Corbin and everyone?
No, it's the giants with bears. I don't know if you got
yes.
The Jotun? I think they're in the Jotun.
I don't know. They're not really in the beginning. I feel like they're a bit later in the book. But they're giants that have bears. And they take
them. I think that's the Jotun.
I don't remember that. I don't know.
I mean, it's not the Benothi, because we know those. It's not the ones that Alcyon is with, because we know those as well. They don't ride bear. I think it's the Jotun, because in the beginning of the book, Jael or Connell, I don't know. I think Jael meets up with them. I think it's the Jotun.
Yeah, maybe.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, he gets taken. Okay, so what are you guys most looking forward to in Wrath?
To know how Storm is doing.
I was literally about to say that.
Yeah, I agree with that. That and what I want Veridis and Silent, and I want it executed well. And I want Fidel to be on top because she's amazing. And I want Andana to have something to do. I don't care what, just give her something to do because she deserves it. She's awesome. Oh, when she so when she fought with that queen, I don't remember the kid's name, but there's like a queen and they escape together and they're together in the fortress. And that queen's like, I challenge you to do a duel because I'm awesome. And then Fidel kicks her ass. I thought that was amazing.
It's like Roisin and Lorcan?
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, but like her name is spelled.
It's Roshan. Apparently,
okay,
if you listen to the other book.
I'm just going to call her Raisin from now because it sounds easier.
Raisin. I mean, it's really weird.
In my mind, she's as wrinkly as a raisin as well, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Wait, they don't really say who took Corbin at the end.
Hannah said by giant randos.
Yeah, but I think if she said, I think it's Jotun.
I
Yeah,
wonder.
think
Yeah.
we only have one name. Like Ildare wants him. Ildare.
So
I don't know.
if this prophecy is so widespread, I would think like that giants like in every corner of like the realm would know about like the the bright star or the bright or like the whole thing. So it kind of like makes me like wonder if like they're gonna get like there and be like, oh, he's actually supposed to be like this guy, so maybe we'll help him. I mean, you don't know. Maybe
Right?
Oh,
maybe
they're
he'll get
fighting for the wrong,
yeah.
for the evils, for Giles, right? Because they were in that battle at Graham's Hold, so they're on Giles'
Were they?
side. Yeah, because they killed Graham, didn't they?
I mean, you're talking about the giant who took Corbin at the end?
Yeah.
But we don't know if these are the ones that were in the caves.
Yeah.
Like running after him, because he escaped. And on the other side, there were other giants.
Oh.
So I'm not sure they're part of the same group, because Ildire, or whatever is the name, I never heard it before, or maybe I forgot. So I feel like they're maybe not the part of the same team. I don't know.
That's fair enough. I just assumed there were, but that's fair
But
enough.
they're not good, I'm sorry, because they let Storm. They were like, no, she's done.
Yeah, they were like, I'm getting down there. I was like, that means she survives. I know how this works.
Yeah, but I mean, if they were believing in the prophecy, and if they were on the good side, they would know that Storm would be a big part of it, because she's mentioned, even if as a weapon or whatever, not as a woven, she's mentioned. But here they really didn't care about her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Unless like they're like those giants, like they're not like really involved in the war, they were just kind of out scouting and then like saw somebody, like, and they're not, and they know about the prophecy, but they don't know who is a part of the prophecy. You know what I'm saying?
But they say Corbin.
Did they say Corbin? Did they name him? I don't know if they named him or not.
Because they said,
no, but it is them.
You have led us a merry chase. Yeah. The others are searching for you all over Foreign.
Okay, so, I mean, yeah.
Like, they know who he is, and there are not many people with Woven. So, I mean, I feel like they knew who he was, even if they didn't say his name.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would like to know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. No. So it is them, because they say Ildire wants them, and when you look in the beginning, it says Ildire is warlord of the Jotun, which is the giants that were chasing him.
Okay.
With the.
Oh, in the okay.
Yeah. So I think it is the guys with the bears.
But that's the first time we hear about that name, no?
No, he's mentioned in that first chapter as well. I think
I'm sure we hear about him at least a little, because he say, "Oh, you killed my second bear." Was that him? Because he killed one bear in Graham's Hold, and that giant was mad, and now it's the same giant again.
I honestly don't know. I don't remember. There's barely anyone left, to tell the truth. I don't know.
So I guess we will see what is going to happen.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I mean, I want more death. I mean, from the good side.
Yeah. I want the bad people to start dying and to stay dead.
Yeah. To stay dead. That's the key word.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of iffy right now.
I mean, if they're not gonna die now, when? This is the last book, last chance.
Yeah, but have you heard that the other series, trilogy that John Gwynne wrote is also in the Banished Lands?
Yeah. Just a heads up,
Yeah.
do not read the synopsis. Do not read the synopsis. It spoils Wrath. I just did.
Oh!
I read the first book. Wait, do you mean that one in the...
A Time of Dread.
No, yeah.
The first one's called A Time
okay.
of Dread. But do not read the synopsis.
Okay.
I
I thought
mean,
you meant the new one he has, because I read that book, but I was
No.
like,
No, Shadows of God. No, not that
No.
one. It's not in the same world. No. But the other trilogy is happening in the Banished Lands.
Yeah.
So maybe if we don't get
Yeah.
answers here, we will get them in the other series. But I'm just like,
I will set the book on fire and walk away. I've been hurt too many times.
No, but
did
just
not
based on a synopsis of that book, this is going to be resolved. I'm not saying anything. It's just
Okay.
it's going to be resolved.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
okay, that's good to know. I hope
I mean, I'm not sure how detailed the resolution is going to be, but just based on that, I know how Wrath is going to end. At least, to some extent.
so.
So,
All right.
I'm not gonna read it.
don't.
Very
If,
true.
if you want spoilers, go ahead. But if you don't want spoilers, don't do it.
No, first I want to cry. I want to be anxious. I want to throw up. I want to be stressed, and then I'm gonna
Yeah.
read that synopsis. No, I want the full experience of finishing that series.
Yeah. But I mean, it's literally in the first sentence as well, so don't even start reading the synopsis.
Stop repeating it, because telling me that I should not make my brain want to do it.
All right, guys. I have to go cook dinner.
No worries.
But yeah, I'm
I
looking
think we
forward.
covered.
Yeah, we should. We can agree when we want to do sprints and stuff. I'm assuming about 2 weeks, as per usual.
Yep.
So the weekend of 2021, right? So the 21.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I know I want. Well, I
going
don't know.
to
I just
just-
probably could do either.
I'm going to have to see, because I think I also have the sprints for the 5th season read-along I'm doing on that weekend as well. But my diary's downstairs, so I will let you know.
No worries. All right. Thank you, Hannah, mainly, for watching and talking to us. And if anyone's watching playback, thank you as well. And thank you guys for a great conversation.
Yeah,
I'm gonna end the broadcast. So everyone get ready to wave.